What's going on, everyone? It's Caleb Moats back with another episode of the Caleb Moats Show. So, it's Tuesday. I had to double check that, but it is Tuesday. So, we're going through Second Corinthians right now. Going to hit it with a quick little Bible study. So, here we go. I know last week we did 5 through 8. Now, today we're going to be doing Second Corinthians 9 through 12. If you haven't went back and watched those videos, or if you haven't watched them, go back and do it. It shouldn't take too long. Just a summary and talking about what Paul is saying to the church in Corinth. So now starting with chapter 9, Paul is still talking about generosity. It's still encouraged. He's pushing generosity. As a whole church, we need to be generous. When people come up to us, we need to give. We need to have outreaches. We need to have different events where we can give to the community. Because honestly, if the church doesn't give to the people, to the kids, to those parents, to the adults, the world's going to give to them. So we're legit in a battle between God, Christianity, and the world. So we need to be generous and show these people that we love them and actually care. And while we are not doing that, if we're not doing that, the world's going to be doing it. And the world's going to give a lot. They're going to be giving a whole lot of crap that these people shouldn't be hearing, that they don't want to hear. But that's what's going to happen. That's going to be shoved down their throats. And so Paul is really talking about stay generous. Always be giving to these people. And what does it look like if you're very generous towards one group of people or one person, and then someone else comes needing something, and we're not generous towards that person? That's really not a good look. Because that other person will think, oh, dang, I'm just not good enough for it. So always be giving to everybody. Don't have I like them more, so I'll give to them more. Or they've been nice to me. No, give to everybody. Be generous to everyone. And Paul really talks about like you reap what you sow. If you sow generously, you reap generously. But if you sow sparingly, you reap sparingly. So the more you give, the more you will get back. I personally know this. If you go do a community service project for anyone or go help anyone, you get this good feeling. It completely lifts up your whole life. It brings you more joy than you will think it does. If you don't believe it, go try it. Go to your old lady who's a neighbor and just help her out. Help your neighbors out. Just be generous, give to the community and be there for the community. Help them when they need help them get stuff done. I know we all know a few people who are not fully able right now. Go help them out. See how you feel about it. See how you feel. Watch God's going to bless you. And to end on the generosity aspect, God outgives and outblesses every time. So you're not going to be without. God will take care of you. And like I said, that feeling you get inside, nothing matches it. So go give. Always be helping other people. Always be out in the world trying to make other people's lives better. So with that being said, we'll go to chapter 10. That's really what he touches in chapter 9, just generosity. Be the most generous person you can be. But in chapter 10, Paul talks about correct in private, praise in public. He uses the example in his letters. He says, I talk to everyone about you. I brag about you. I boast about how good you are. But the letters that get sent to them personally are correcting them. To the whole world that Paul is talking to, he's saying, this church in Corinth is so good. This church in Corinth, they give like no other. This church in Corinth, they abide by the Lord's teachings. They have done so much good in that community, so much good in the whole world through that church. But at the end of the day, in these letters that he's sending, he is correcting them. So whenever you see other Christians struggling, don't go in public and just call them out. Don't do anything like that, talk to them in private. Praise them in public, correct them in private. And make sure that whenever they're talking, whenever they're telling about the good that the Lord has done for them, make sure they're not boasting about it as if they've done it themselves. Always work to make sure that they are boasting the Lord, saying, look what the Lord did for me. Look, the Lord laid out this path for me. Look, the Lord blessed me so that I could have this, not I. We don't live in a world where it's I. We need to, as Christians, we need to be, the Lord help me do this. The Lord put me in a position to get this done. And don't brag that we have God. I know that it's, in the world we live in nowadays, it's hard not to be like, yeah, I got God, so I'm staying out of it. No. Serve others by telling them about God, by showing them how to have the same thing we have. A lot of people in this world don't have it. Show them how to have it so that they can join us and they can be happy with us. So don't brag and belittle other people because we have God and they don't. Show them how to have God. And that's really it for chapter 10. Now, chapter 11 is something that he talks about, something I feel really strongly about. He really touches on watch out for false prophets. They're everywhere today. I know it, you know it. People claim to be Christians, claim to preach Jesus, but they're not preaching the same Jesus I know. I mean, you can look it up on YouTube, Instagram, or whatever. There's a million different instances where these people, they have huge churches, but they're not preaching Jesus. They're preaching a different God. And that's on us. It's on us to use discernment that God gave us to realize, okay, is this person actually preaching us what we need to hear? Is this person preaching to us things out of the Bible, or is this coming from man? We don't need a feelings-based gospel. We need a biblical gospel. So whenever those people are preaching that, stay away from it. False prophets are out there, deceitful workers are out there, and honestly, Satan claims to be an angel of light. If Satan could deceive the angels, imagine what he can do with humans, especially when he's got a whole army of angels or fallen angels, demons surrounding him. They're deceiving every day. They're sending out false prophets to bring people away from God, but it's our job to fight the battle to bring them to God. We're fighting not against flesh and blood. We are fighting against a spiritual war. And it's our job to fight for each other, to fight for everybody, and to fight that we preach the right gospel. And Paul, he did this, and he suffered because of it. Like right here, if you look in 2 Corinthians 11, going down through it, it starts in 23. He's had far more imprisonments, countless beatings. He was often near death, and he got 40 lashes. 3 times he was beaten with rods. Once he was stoned. 3 times he was shipwrecked, a night and a day, and just adrift at sea. He was in danger from rivers and robbers, danger from his own people, danger from the Gentiles, danger in the city, danger in the wilderness, danger at sea, danger from false brothers. He had many sleepless nights because of it, and he was often without food. And that's simply only because he was preaching the gospel. When you preach the gospel, it pisses off the devil. The devil will come and try and attack you any way he can. The devil will come. And, I mean, look what happened to Charlie Kirk. He was preaching the gospel. He got killed because of it. But what did it do for God's name? You had millions and millions of people pulling up to church for the first time. Always be fighting the fight. Because honestly, Paul suffered, but he says it was worth it. To Paul, it was worth it to fight and get beaten down to bring others to God, because he knows that his life is not on this earth, but his life is in eternity in heaven. So always be fighting that fight. Always be having that war to better yourselves and to better the world around you. And I love how we're also talking about generosity now too. That's part of that fight. Be generous. Be a Christian that you're supposed to be. Have the fruits of the Spirit. Be very loving, be joyful, be peaceful, patient. All these fruits of the Spirit, have that in your life, and fight off these false prophets. Fight off the people who are deceitful, and stand for what's right. People will see that you're standing up. People will respect you for it. So do it. That's what he talks about in chapter 11. Now we're going to go into verse 12. He talks about, again, boast about the good that God has done for you. Don't take credit as if you did it. You didn't do the work. God did the work. I know a lot of people who claim to be pastors. They're like, yeah, I have this congregation. I earned it because I worked really hard. Yeah, they probably did work really hard, but God gave them the opportunity. God gave them those spiritual gifts so that they could have that congregation. They stayed preaching the Bible. God brought those people in. Like, without God, we are 100% nothing. And all these people, we're not good enough for God's grace, but he gives it anyway. Preach that. Preach that. Pastors, a lot of times, they can't say that they have fallen short, but they have. Nobody is perfect. Everyone falls short, but we have God's grace, even though we're not good enough for it. We weren't good enough for God to send his son down to die for us, but he did it anyway because he loves us. Preach that gospel. He died, and then 3 days later he survived. Preach that gospel. And don't say it's from you. Say it's from God. Don't boast about what he's done as if you've done it. Boast about the fact that God did it. And God can do it for others too. And then that was 1 through 10, then in 12 through 20 of that, of 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 12, he's worried about what he may find when he comes to the church in Corinth. He wants them to be strong in faith. And he really wants the best for that church. And I take this as he's writing it to us because it lines up exactly with what we're going through in the world now. And he wants them to be strong in faith. God wants the best for us. He wanted the best for us. I want the best for y'all. So when you go down through it, be strong in faith. Take these books that we have right here. Take the Bible. Study it. Always be studying. Dive deeper. Learn more and more about it and apply it to your lives. Don't just sit there and think it'll happen for me and it's good. Like, you've got to dive in. Study for yourself. Don't just study at church on Sunday. Study for yourself every day. Be strong in faith. Follow the book. Don't deal with, or when you deal with different sins, fight it off. God gives us the power to do that. Fight for what's right. Run from sin. Flee from evil. Stand up for God. I think this whole thing is talking about be bold. Be bold in your faith. Don't hide it. Be bold in it. Go tell people about Jesus. But with that being said, that's all we got for 2 Corinthians 9 through 12. I really want you to read through it all yourself. It'll probably take 15 minutes to read through 9 through 12. You could probably read all of 2 Corinthians in an hour or 2 hours. Go read through it. Look at what Paul is telling to the people in Corinth. Look at what he's telling to that church and apply that to your life. Because I'm telling you right now, it'll make your life better and it'll make everyone's life around you better. So with that being said, I hope to see y'all Thursday for Solving the World's Problems with Caleb Moats. Hopefully that freaking government shutdown's done, but who knows? With that being said, be bold and tell people about Jesus. Do it every day. Hope y'all have a good one. Peace.